Hi, my name is Dr. Lomeli, and today I'll be showing you how to mount casts using an alternative method to the face bow. Today's armamentarium is going to include a plastic mixing bowl, a graduated cylinder with 26 milliliters of water, mounting stone, and there are different varieties. You could either use plaster, but today we'll be using Whip Mix mounting stone. We'll be using denture cups, superset, scissors for cutting the packages, matchsticks, and green compound for the luting, and then your green handled knife and sandpaper to finalize it, and we'll be indexing with a lathe. Okay, when you're indexing, you want to make a cross. If you have the lathe that forms a point, you can go at it directly. If you have one that is squared, you'll need to use it as an angle. This one does have a point, so we will come. And so you want to get about 2 to 3 millimeters in. Indexing a cast, if you do the 2-pour method, the first pour will separate from the second pour. Now, if that happens, there's no need to panic. You can simply apply super glue. And just apply a bit of firm pressure, wipe off any excess that might come out, and just hold it for a few seconds. First, you want to apply petroleum jelly to the edges of your mounting plate. This will make it easier to clean up. You can also apply a small amount of petroleum jelly to the surface of your articulator for easier cleanup. Now, if you get stone on there, you could either rinse it off or spray it with the high pressure steamer. Next, you want to place your 2 denture cups on top of your articulator. It's ideal to line up the line with the center of your incisal guide table, and then line up your midline to that line as well to try to mount them straight. Now once you close it, you can see you have a small amount of room. So next you want to apply a small amount of superset to the indexed portion. To allow for easy removal at a later time. You can also apply it to the perimeter, a small border, or you can only do it in the center. Now, once you've cut the bag open, you always want to make sure that you pour powder into water. And so I've put the 26 milliliters of water here. Now, as you mix, you want to make sure to get a nice, smooth mixture. And then you spatulate it. That back and forth motion, and notice how I'm rotating my fingers, and then get it all off of the edge. Now you will build it up And then also place it inside of the mounting plate. And you're going to build it up into a column. Create a column. And then close the articulator. And you can remove any excessive material. By removing a little bit of excessive material, it will allow you to place a second pour that will be much smoother. Wait 5 minutes. Once your first pour column has set, then you can remove the cast and focus on creating a second pour to create a smooth, confluent surface. This will allow you to have a nice aesthetic finish. The second pour can be done at the sink. Being able to utilize the water after you've applied it can help you to create a smoother finish. Now, applying each spoonful, you don't have to focus very much on it being perfectly smooth right at this point. You just want to get all of the mounting stone within. Once you've completed that, you can turn this on a low flow and start to smooth away. So trying to create a nice flush border. If you see that you have sub in some areas, you can apply a little bit more and go back through. Once you've completed that, you can rinse off your hands. And now take it under the sink. You want to do this kind of at a faster pace. And so also, the petroleum jelly that you applied earlier is helping the mounting stone not to stick and not to be very difficult to come off of the mounting plates. And you're left with a nice smooth finish. Once the stone has set, you can start to remove any imperfections that may have occurred. So any mounting stone left on the cast, you can use your green handled knife to shave those little spots off. And you can also use a small piece of sandpaper, wet. Now this is a fine sandpaper, T414. And with it wet, you can create a very, very smooth finish. So you can see the difference between here. So it's nice and smooth, but you can still see some of the imperfections that were created versus on this side. With the upper cast mounted, you can now lute the two casts together. With your open flame, you want to use a green compound stick to melt it, and you can use matchsticks to adhere. Now, what works better is using metal rods. You can use a old-fashioned metal coat hanger or one of the ones you get from the cleaners, and you can cut that into the same dimensions using wire cutters. Melt the green compound stick and apply a small bit to the cast. Then you place the matchstick on top of the cast and further adhere the match. It's ideal if there is compound both below the match as well as above the match. This is the final result after luting both of the casts together. Now, while you're luting the cast together, you want to make sure to maintain firm pressure in the center of the cast to make sure that they don't become unequal or off balanced. You want to, especially when there is full dentition and they are easily hand articulated, you want to place them in MI and hold that firm pressure. But sometimes you have a partially edentulous patient and it's harder to get that balance, and so I might in that situation add more. So instead of 3, I might have 5, having 2 on both sides, where I add the furthest 2 first, followed by the inner 2, and lastly the front one. Once you have luted both casts together, you can mount it on the articulator, hold it upside down, free of any further assistance. Now, when you're doing this upside down, you might have trouble with the mounting stone dripping to the back, but the positive part is if you put jelly, petroleum jelly, on the surrounding surface, it's very easy to come off. Now, place your column. And you can close the articulator and maneuver cleaning it, confident that you're not going to shift anything because it is firmly luted together, and you can easily wipe off anything. Once your column has finished setting, you can pop off your matchsticks and apply the second layer. So that way you don't risk dismounting the cast before you have the second pour. You can lift up using your green handled knife to disengage the magnetic plate. Now, once you have done your second pour and you are sure that it is secured, at this point is when I would take off any of the wax. After you remove it, you want to air it away, and if there are any residual pieces, you can sandpaper those away as well. To leave a nice, neat, mounted cast. Thanks for joining me on this cast mounting demo. Please check out my other videos, and if you like what you saw, please subscribe.